Hello and welcome to Tech Tips by Stu's Self-Service Garage. Today, we're going to be learning how to perform an oil change. Changing your oil is a simple task that must be performed regularly to ensure proper engine operation and performance. To perform our engine oil change, we're going to need a few things: gloves, an engine oil catch, an engine oil funnel, an oil filter cap wrench set, a socket set, and a ratchet. Then we're also going to need oil, an oil filter, and a replacement crush washer. Before we take the car up in the air, there's a couple things we have to do first. 1, wear gloves to protect your hands. 2, make sure the car is brought up to operating temperature so the oil flows freely. And 3, be sure you have a great spot to put the oil for recycling later on. The next step in the oil change process will be to identify the engine oil drain plug. This can be done by looking directly underneath the engine. It should look something like this. Then, you take a socket, make sure it's the correct size, get a ratchet, and begin to loosen. Once you get your ratchet, be sure it's set to the loosen position. Place it on the engine oil drain plug and loosen. Position your drain pan and then you wait for the oil to drain. Now that the engine oil has been drained out from the car, we want to put the drain plug back on and be sure and replace the crush washer to ensure a good seal. It's also good practice to wipe off the area where the drain plug goes, just to make sure no dirt gets in the way. Now, reset your ratchet to tighten. Place it on the drain plug and tighten a fair amount, but be sure not to over tighten. Now that the oil drain plug has been replaced, it's time to replace the engine oil filter. Not all cars are the same, and not all oil filters are the same size. So make sure you have the right engine oil filter and you've located it on your car. We'll be using the cap wrench and a ratchet to remove it this time. In our case, the engine oil filter is located directly above the drain plug. Make sure your ratchet is set to loosen before you do this. Once it's loosened up to hand tight, you can use your hand to pull it all the way out. Now that we've got the oil filter out, we're going to want to place it face down in the oil catch to be sure and drain excess oil. While this is happening, we're going to go grab the new oil filter. It's good practice when replacing your engine oil filter to prime it with some new oil. This can be done by pouring a little bit of oil, usually no more than half full, into the filter, taking some extra and applying it around the rubber gasket. This makes sure that it goes on smoothly. When you're tightening the engine oil filter, make sure as soon as it seats up against the engine, you don't do more than a quarter turn. This ensures you don't over tighten it. Now, we're going to clean up the extra dribbles, drop the car, and fill her up. Some cars have cartridge style oil filters like this one. If this is the case, be sure and locate your oil filter housing, which in this car is conveniently located right on top of the engine. Take your ratchet and socket, loosen the bolt, and pull out the old filter. Be sure to replace your O-rings and crush washer before reinstalling. Take your nice new filter, drop it down in the housing, slide the cap over it, and tighten up the bolt. Make sure when you're tightening up the oil filter again, you do not over tighten. If your car has a manufacturer's torque spec, be sure and follow it. Well, that's how you change a cartridge style filter. Now it's time to refill the engine with oil. First step is to remove the oil filler cap, like so. Take a funnel, place it in, grab your oil, and begin to pour. Once you've finished filling your car with oil to the manufacturer's recommended specifications, you want to remove the funnel, replace the engine oil filler cap, go around to the driver's side of your car, turn it on for about 15 seconds to circulate the oil throughout the engine, shut it off, come back to the dipstick, and make sure you have enough in your car. Now that we're all done with our oil change, we're going to take this for a quick spin. Thanks for watching Tech Tips by Stu's Self-Service Garage, and be sure to subscribe to watch us next week.